Hit it, George.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, waiting for the cue to start. And that was it. Thank you, Colleen. Hello, folks. It's the Podsquad with Talina Massey, Colleen Roberts, Wendy Card, and yours truly, George Oliver. Thanks for joining us for New Bern Now's podcast for April 15th, 2021. And this is episode 180.
Woo!
Yes.
We're getting there. We're going to be at 200 before we know it.
Yeah, another 20 weeks, perhaps.
Tons to talk about.
That's right. So this is an opportunity to connect people and places and happenings and conversations all around New Bern and the surrounding areas. And of course, engagement is easy these days in the digital age. And we want you to join us by commenting on this live stream. You have to go to New Bern Now's Facebook page, especially when the little contest comes up, and maybe Talina can take over that here in just a second. We would like to know what you think. So that's how we learn about each other. We learn about each other's backgrounds and values and all the good things going on in our community. And Talina, you take it away.
So before we get started, we have a contest. To be entered to win, make sure that you can comment during today's show on New Bern Now's Facebook page. So do we have that trivia question, Wendy?
Okay, are you ready, you guys?
I think.
Yes.
All right. What is?
We are ready to guess the answer. Go ahead.
Oh no, and George is going to try to pry the answer out of me. All right. What is the largest tree squirrel in North Carolina?
So you want like the type of tree squirrel?
Yes.
I have questions. Is there a kind of squirrel that's not a tree squirrel?
That's a good question.
That should have been the question, but it's not. It's not. For anyone listening, you didn't hear it. What is the largest tree squirrel in North Carolina?
I do have squirrels, I think, living in the walls of our house. So
Oh,
maybe
no.
they're house
Get
squirrels.
rid of those squirrels, George Oliver.
No, they're still there. Dare hears them every once in a while, and it wakes her up and scares her. They run from one end of the house to the other.
I think the largest tree squirrel in North Carolina is the Oliver variety because they're like 8 feet tall.
That's right. Raw, big old squirrel. And the other question is, how many kinds of squirrels are there? There's more than one kind of squirrel?
There's the North Carolina
Yes.
squirrel. There's the New York squirrel.
Right.
They're totally different.
They are.
Sure,
Their
you got
accents are different.
The
their
Canadian
accents are
squirrel, they got most of the squirrels, at least in Lower Ontario, are black squirrels. So I don't know. You don't see them very often down here, or I haven't. Yeah. So
Interesting.
Cool.
that's the
Interesting
question. And the winner will get a special prize, a gift certificate from a local business. So it's important to shop local.
Make sure
Yes.
you comment with your answer on the New Bern Now Facebook page, not somebody who's shared alive, but on the New Bern Now Facebook page. And we'll revisit the question at 1:30 or so. So you have some time to Google it. I mean, you have some time to guess.
No Googling. No Googling. You have a time to ask your local squirrels if any of them have any insight.
Yeah, and we'll announce the answer at 1:50. If there's multiple guesses and answers correctly, we'll draw the name at 7:00 tonight. Otherwise, we're only the people that are watching this live can participate for the prize. So if you watch it later and guess, sorry, your guess doesn't count. So.
Wah, wah, wah. So what's going on? Talina Massey, how the heck are you?
I think I'm all right. I am all immunized up.
Yes.
Yay! Woo!
Got my second shot this Saturday, so I'm feeling excited. Got to check out the North Carolina Museum of Arts, which was amazing. They had the mummies of Egypt there, so that was great.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, that park is amazing too. I'd never been there, so I hang out a little bit at North Carolina State University. So that was fun. I had a good little traveling weekend, so that was great. But that was just the recharge for me to get up and do everything I do during the week. So that included Juneteenth planning, which is in full swing right now. A lot of events.
Like a jam-packed week of stuff.
I literally ran from one meeting at Panera to here so that I could, but that was a Juneteenth planning meeting. And the great thing about this year is that we have a lot of cooperation with the Juneteenth Inc. in Buffalo, New York. And they have
awesome.
the third largest celebration in the country is in
No
Buffalo.
way.
And they've sent us a whole package of stuff to kind of help us with sponsorship letters and volunteer awards and things. So we have a army of support this year for Juneteenth, which is really,
Yay.
I'm excited. So that's coming. Watch for those Juneteenth of New Bern Facebook page announcements coming down. We've got our first community collaborators meeting. Any one person, organization, or business that wants to be any way, shape, or form involved with Juneteenth, please be on that call. I have the Zoom information if you need it. Just reach out to Talina Massey at yahoo.com and I can send you that link. It's at 6 p.m. via Zoom. And we're excited to do business bingo this year, punch cards for Juneteenth, and a ton of other surprises, including some Mardi Gras style festivities going on this year. So great.
Wonderful.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Go.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you, if people are listening and they don't know what Juneteenth is, then they should look it up. No, I'm joking. Can you explain briefly what Juneteenth is?
I sure will. So for anyone that has not heard of it, Juneteenth is also known as Emancipation Day. It's also known as Jubilee Day. It's a day of freedom when African Americans were finally notified that the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed and that all enslaved people in Confederate states were free. So it's more or less another extension of our Independence Day. It's very much culturally celebrated, but as we've seen in past years in New Bern here, everyone enjoys the things that happen throughout New Bern. We try to make sure that we have events that are available and walkable to people. So they happen in both uptown and downtown throughout that entire week. And it's a week of inclusive entertainment and family-friendly fun. And you can also win some cash. There's some contests this year and some other things going on. So please be on the lookout for that page as we have more sponsors sign on. It's going to be an amazing week of events.
Fantastic.
Talina, have you, you said tonight at 6, there's a Zoom meeting?
Friday, tomorrow.
Oh, Friday at 6. Okay. Have you spoken with Angelina Doyle at New Bern Civic Theater about this?
I have not, but she is definitely on my list to talk to because we would like to connect with her. We have spoken to some actors like Angel Dalton, who are setting up some pieces, some visual art pieces. So, I mean, naturally, we were next to get with Angelina for that.
The theater, New Bern Civic Theater is planning a Juneteenth show. It's an original work that they're working on. So yes, I need to put you in touch with Angelina, but there are some of the members of the theater community putting that together now and planning to put that on in June. So I'd be great to coordinate.
I would so much appreciate that. Thank you so very much. And then, yeah, we can coordinate that information and get all of that on the schedule because we do have a flash mob as well planned. So we can't tell you where, but it's going to be a good so,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and as if that wasn't enough, I am also wearing this color because April is Child Abuse Prevention Month and Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So the Bank of the Arts has done a collaboration with Promise Place. And if you come down, if you check out the downtown sculpture park on Broad and Middle Street, you will see a powerful installation set up there that has.
Do it, George. Do it, George.
Uh-oh.
He's
Here
gonna
we
show it to us.
Look, crack
Yay!
that. Look at that. Yes.
Right out there.
George,
I look at it
George.
every day.
George, you got to go to the window and talk so the camera, so Zoom picks up.
Oh,
the view.
okay. All right. Let me know when it's a good picture of it. Can you see?
It's okay.
Hold on. It probably helps if I open blinds.
That would be wonderful.
There we go. About now.
Yes.
There we go. So yeah,
Wow.
Everyone
There's
loves
the,
reality.
that's right. there's the art installation, and somebody right now doesn't know we're watching her watch it. Hello,
Yeah.
Right.
So those are 8 life-size silhouettes painted in teal, purple, and blue, and they were created by Teresa Simmons and Candace Parker of Promise Place. And then they're
Awesome.
hoping with the visual campaign that it will start the conversation around these important topics. So if you were ever wondering while they were out there, no, they're not waiting for the drive-in to start again.
Hey, Clayton G.
They are there for a purpose. So thank you to Three Guys Signs for that. And as well as continuing the conversation with the Arts Council, they also have a new art exhibition, Art Cubed, that they're looking for artists for. So if you think that your art can fit inside of the cube at the Bank of the Arts, swing on by and test it out and see. If you drop it off by April 30th, and it says drop off is April 30th and May 1st, artists are encouraged to pre-register at cravenarts.org.
Wonderful.
Your art may be included in the next exhibition.
They did a great job with the sculpture park because I guess a couple days after they got them installed, I was coming up Broad Street and you're kind of like, you know, like, what is that? You know, so they did a really good job with that. And then the color coding of what each of the colors means. I just thought that was really well done. I mean, it stopped me, which, you know, I just thought that was really, it was clever. They did a good job with bringing something to light that is often difficult to talk about and bring awareness to, but did a great job.
Yes, yeah, and it reminds me of the pinwheels for Child Abuse Prevention Month that they used to put at the convention center. I don't know if they're there this year. I drove by there the other day, but I didn't notice because I'm not very observant. So we have a guest that's in the waiting room, and we don't want to keep Miss Bryant. There she is, waiting.
That's right.
So we'll bring her in and we'll continue the conversation on the other end. How's that sound?
That's right. While she's coming in, Sharon Bryant is with the Tryon Palace African American Outreach. She's the coordinator for them. There she is. I think she's still muted, but hi, Sharon. We still can't hear you. Do you need to turn her on? Oh, there she is.
And she's on.
How are you doing? Sharon, can you hear us?
There you go.
Oh, yeah, we can't hear her. I don't know if she needs to change up her mic or she's hopefully going to talk to us about the program coming up, History of Ancestors, U.S. Colored Troops, the 35th Regiment, and it is a community event as well. So hopefully we'll get some of those audio issues figured out.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, how are you doing?
I am well.
You always have a lot going on over at the Palace. You're just always bringing events and cool things.
At least.
Tell us about this event that's going to be on the big field at Craven Terrace about the 35th Regiment.
So we have a group of young guys that want to encourage some other young people to come and become a USC soldier. So on April the 24th, between noon and 3, we're going to have a big event out in the big field. So we're going to set up a camp life, and they're going to be talking about the life of a soldier during that time. So we want to encourage all young people to be out there because we are also recruiting anywhere from 10 to 99.
Can you repeat that real quick? That last part? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You're also recruiting.
What you say?
Something about you're also recruiting. We couldn't hear the rest of that.
Okay, we are trying to recruit any children, youth from the age of 10 to 16, but we are also recruiting young men from the age of 16 up to 99. So George, that includes you too, if you want to be a soldier.
There you go. I'm just barely under the threshold or over the threshold, depending on who you ask.
Well, so that is April 24th, and it is free.
It is free to the public. We will have an essay contest going on for any youth. We want them to understand the history of what the USDT was all about. We also want to get the kids to understand, like say if they decide to go into service, like the Marine Corps, the Army, they would have to do some drilling, they would have to do some singing, they would have to, learn the protocol of being a soldier. So we want to teach that to them on that day.
So it's interactive and also has an educational component.
Yes. And it's
Yeah.
free. It is free. Come join us.
We like free. And for those of you who do not know, I'm looking at your flyer here. It said, did you know that nearly 1/10 of the entire Union Army consisted of U.S. colored troops, soldiers? So that's incredible. I didn't know that.
The 35th originated right here in New Bern, North Carolina, right there at the New Bern Academy. So we have a lot of rich history that we need to make sure our youth know about, our history.
Yes, definitely. And you're bringing it to life with these reenactments and the story, the storytelling and the camps, and people love that. No, I know I love it. I don't know about you guys, but I love it.
For you.
I do want to know more about the essay contest. So do the kids have to turn in their essays before the event on April 24th, or how does that work?
Oh, let me tell you. No, do not have to turn it in early. During that day, we'll be doing the essays right there on the spot. And we'll read them right then. We will also, sometimes people don't know how to write, especially kids. So we're going to encourage them to write a sentence or two or a paragraph. And we'll be there, we'll be right there to guide them in order to get this essay done. And then that's the most important part about it, is because as we explain to them what is going on, they can be writing their little essays. They will have someone there to read over it to make sure it makes sense. And then they can turn it in and they can win a cash prize as well. Everybody like money, right, Talina?
Yeah. Woohoo.
That was going to be my next question. If it was a contest, what was the prize for whoever wins the contest? So cash prizes, the kids will love that.
Cash prizes.
Our saying is nothing incentivizes like sense.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great saying. Yeah.
Completely understand that. And I know for my kids that motivates them like cash. So if I offer cash, they're bound to do pretty much whatever I ask them to do. So
That's right. Money talks.
there you go.
All right.
Well, Sharon, if we are reaching folks who already know they want to be recruited, how can they join, or how can people in general find out more about the event on April 24th? So it's noon to 3. It's at the big field at Craven Terrace in New Bern. If people have additional questions or want to participate, how can they get up with you or the organizers?
They can email me at sharon.bryant@ncdcr.gov. They can call me at 252-639-3592.
Wonderful. Or visit triumphpalace.org, right?
Yes, the website, triumphpalace.org.
Yeah, there we go. Sharon, it's always wonderful seeing you.
It's seeing all of you.
I love your smile. So,
She's always so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Sorry, real quick before we let her go, Sharon, is there somewhere else that I can go to find out more about the USCT as far as their history, if I wanted to dig in to a little bit more of that and about New Bern? I know I can always go to you because that's what you do. But in the case that you are on a well-deserved vacation, where might I, as a student of USCT, go find more information?
Talina, that well-deserved vacation has not came yet, and so I'm going to be here. But I would encourage anyone to Google the 35th USCT to start doing some research of themselves about the unit. We do have some things posted on our website at triumphpalace.org. If you somehow or somewhere see one of the USC soldiers such as Bernard George, Jalen Tripp, Gus Guyan, Marsha Williams. They will tell you a whole lot about them. And we're going to try to do a whole lot better in telling these stories a lot at the New Bern Academy, because we're, after this pandemic, we're going to be scheduling a lot of things over there so people can really dig into what we're doing.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us today, Sharon. And
Thank you for inviting me.
yeah, well, hey, that invitation is always standing for you. So great seeing you, and thank you for everything you're doing.
Keep
So,
up the good work.
yeah.
Thank you.
Have
That's right.
have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
I'm
Bye,
Michelle.
Sharon.
All right.
I feel like I'm always
Yeah.
seeing like press releases or emails or, information about things that she has going on. So I'm glad she got to come on today and share one of those with us.
Yeah, I mean, I love what she does. She's an incredible woman, and I think it's important that we know everyone's history. So,
And she's a 52 Faces fellow member. She was out there with us
yay!
today.
Congratulations. That's wonderful. Yes.
That ceremony was yesterday in Union Point Park, in case you saw all the people riding through.
That's right.
Sun Journal had that. It was an amazing experience out there yesterday.
And
so
weren't you one of them too?
maybe might have been.
I saw that your little medal hanging from your license plate, or not license plate.
The rear view mirror?
Yeah, no, the
Yeah.
mirror. Yeah.
When I had
Or
first
your
gotten it,
dashboard. Yeah.
yeah, it was an awesome experience. And we were able to, the 5 Jefferson Award winners were able to have a feature, which is up on the Sun Journal right now. So you can find out more about what all of us do between myself, Torrance Williams, Antoinette Bosky, and I'm sorry that the other 2 names escape me, because Lord knows I'm thinking into the future already. But please go and look them up. And these are amazing people. I was honored to stand next to, really actually flabbergasted to be amongst those people that were standing next to me. So I appreciate New Bern itself for taking me in as a daughter. I really do. I felt really welcomed yesterday.
I love that saying.
Very cool.
I love that saying. Taking me in as a daughter, or sister, brother, whatever. That's really cool. Because yeah, both of us are from the Buffalo area, and Colleen's not from here. George, you're from North Carolina. You're from or not?
Where are you
Grew up in
from,
Moorhead-
George?
grew up in Moorhead City. Yeah.
Yeah, Moorhead City. There you go. I knew it was near the water. So,
Yeah.
and I met George's dad back at the Aurora Fossil Museum out in Holiday
Yes.
years ago. He's brilliant. He's a doctor. He's just an incredible guy, and you're his mini me. So I didn't, that was before I knew you, and I was just, wow, this guy is powerful, his messages, and yeah.
I was about to say he's a brilliant guy. What happened to George? But
Right.
Yeah, right.
And I'm his mini me, but I'm bigger than him now. So it's like,
Yeah.
it used to be Big George and Little George. Now it's Big George and Bigger George. Yeah, maybe.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, George is from Moorhead City, in the land of the largest tree squirrels in the state.
Yes. But they over there, they have subsist on a steady diet of probably shrimp and oysters, I would guess, more so than acorns.
Yeah.
I would think George would know this. So
I only know, actually, I know 2 kinds of squirrels as I've been thinking about it.
don't
One
say
of
them
them
out
is not
loud.
immediate. So one is no, but I just didn't know there were that many kinds of squirrels. I need to study on this. I'm curious to find out what the answer is.
I bet you if you asked your dad, he'd know.
My dad would know if it was
You
a
could phone a
prehistoric squirrel.
friend.
Phone a friend. Yeah.
If it was a prehistoric squirrel, if it was the scrat from Ice Age, then he would know about it. Yeah, he would know about that.
I think my brain goes to what are the delicacies types of squirrels eaten here in North Carolina, which is the
Yeah, I think you're thinking possum.
No, squirrel tastes pretty good. So
It
I
does.
had
grew up-
that in West Virginia. So
I grew up eating squirrel. My dad would shoot squirrel and bring him home. And I don't know if you've ever cooked squirrel, but he would fry it, and you get these tiny little legs, and it was like a tiny little chicken leg, but it was tiny, and you're eating it. And my dad always, again, I've never had this, but he would always like say, well, I get the head or the brains or something like that. So like, I don't know. We've got a family cookbook, and in the cookbook is fried squirrel. Daddy always gets the head. So it's like one of those things. Yeah. And I don't know what kind of squirrel we ate. I don't think they were the largest in North Carolina, because again, the little drumsticks were tiny. But
well, these are. No, I'm not going to say it. You're getting me to give it
me-
away.
I am no longer shocked at the things that are eaten in North Carolina anymore.
I'm living B.
Really,
Yeah.
you have to be in order to not.
Okay, I got one more squirrel story that you're not going to believe. Okay. So it's about my dad. So my dad was an OBGYN in Moorhead, and he would go out and do his rounds in the morning, right? You go to the hospital, check on your patients. And he really liked squirrel and didn't hunt as much as he used to, probably. So if there was on the way to the rounds, he would pay attention. And if there was a squirrel that had been hit by a car that wasn't there on the way in, but was there on the way back, then he would bring it home and we would eat it. So
it was still warm, right?
I have eaten roadkill, but only fresh roadkill.
I would eat it.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
it
you're still
caused me to grow big.
It made you really tall. I should have eaten more
Yeah,
squirrel
that's what
growing up, you know?
Jumping in that squirrel, George. Woo!
Again, not sure it was the largest tree squirrel, but maybe one of the least lucky tree squirrels.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. All right, well,
Is
okay,
our next guest about coming in?
Not
yeah.
quite sure what to say.
Segue out of this.
Keto diet.
Let's go hunting in the Croatan. I got an extra shotgun, so
But for
Let's just
Yeah,
go driving in the neighborhoods, Wendy.
yeah,
Let's
that's
just go driving.
true. Well,
I
know,
mean-
there's a squirrel that Finn will sit on the patio, and when the squirrel comes down to the feeder, that's when he goes, like he bounces to the squirrel, like baying or whatever, and then the squirrel gets off, and they do this like all day long. Every 5 minutes, I hear that noise, and it's like, oh, that's the squirrel, But I don't think I couldn't shoot a squirrel.
Well, I know a guy who
they're too
used to have an old Volvo, and he would intentionally try to hit deer on the road. Like, if a deer jumped out in front of him, he'd go off road and trying to get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
an old Volvo for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Talina.
It's like, what show is this?
I'm just slightly surprised, but not anymore. I've eaten some weird things in the military, but
There you go.
after the deer, I don't think my insurance company would like that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You better have a really good attorney if you're going off road trying to hit a deer.
Yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
Volvos are built well. If you're going to hit something in it, you ought to be in a Volvo, probably. It's a safe car.
Yeah.
Sounds fun though.
Okay. Yeah. And we have our next guest is in the waiting room. And Talina, do you have to head out?
Yeah, are you leaving us?
Yes, I am waiting for my splash twin or other friend to take my place, who so graciously was willing to. I have a brain tap conference call at 1:45.
Oh,
So
okay.
she was going to finish it out with you guys and give you all of the information that I probably have yet to have given you, even though I've given you a lot. So when she jumps on, I'll jump off.
Okay, she was on for really a split second when I went to bring her in, and then she was gone. So in the meantime, I'm bringing in Randy Foster. Yeah. We'll see if he's ready for us.
The third
Catch
Oh,
us-
Randy.
Oh, he's sideways.
Randy's driving, which means Randy's on the hunt. Randy, what are you hunting
Yeah.
for?
Actually, I'm on the way back
Hi,
from Raleigh.
Randy.
Can you hear me?
Randy.
You're sideways.
My sideways. Let me try this.
Yes,
I guess
perfect.
I'll have to hold it.
That's better.
Where are you
Oh,
headed?
sideways works.
Are you on some North Carolina travel?
No, actually, we were just headed to Raleigh for stuff. And so we're on our way back. We're parked in a parking lot in Kinston. So I'm not driving. Hold on, let me put my ring back on. I was dealing with it. Okay. So we just pulled over to the side of the road because I got invited to this thing, and it's really not safe for me to do it while I'm driving. And then I use my official stationery to write notes about what I'm going to say and what you guys are saying. Because we're, it's weird how when you hear something, then you just keep hearing it. We were having a guy look at our yard yesterday, and he was telling us all about how he would hunt and eat squirrels. And he likes it with mushroom gravy, by the way. And then last night, my son texted me and said he heard something in his room, so he put the cat in his room to take care of it, and it turned out to be a squirrel.
Oh no!
And now your discussion this morning about squirrel. So I'm not going to answer the trivia question because I'm not an expert on squirrels, but I would think that there are tree squirrels, ground squirrels, flying squirrels. So there's probably a variety of squirrels, and they're not all tree squirrels, I don't think. But offhand, I'd say the biggest squirrel is probably in our backyard right now, but the smallest is no longer with us because her cat got it this morning.
Oh.
Sad thing.
Oh no.
So I don't want to take up all your time. I just want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about some things that we are starting over the next.
You have to get out your note. Unfold your napkin.
I do. It's right here. Right here. We're going to be starting a few things that are weekly features at New Bern Now, but also New Bern Post as well. First off, and I'm really excited about this, my wife Sarah is going to be starting a weekly column called The Pulse, and it's about shopping in New Bern, everything about shopping, places to go, places that are coming to town, places that might be leaving. So basically, everything you want to know about shopping in New Bern. I think that's probably going to be one of our best read things. We're planning on starting it this Saturday, but it may be a week from Saturday, but just bear with us while we do that. Wendy is going to be doing something called Between the Bridges, which is just news about people in New Bern. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be very well read at all. Because I just don't think it will be.
we got a challenge going on. I challenged Randy. Yesterday I did a video and I said, who has the better idea for a feature article? So mine's Between the Bridges and Randy's is In the Now. Not in the know, but in the now.
Oh, I saw that video. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was basically a challenge, but it's just a fun, just trying to get the buzz going, and it's it's so. Randy, what's your response?
When I get back into town, I plan on doing a reply as soon as I learn how to do a video of myself. Let's see. Now, Wendy, you were talking about doing a gardening column too, right?
Yeah, well, it's going to be an anonymous column, like we're gonna Gilda's garden or something. Somebody was
going to do a gardening column.
That doesn't know how to garden.
In the weeds. In the weeds.
In the weeds. I
in
know
the
that.
weeds.
You're not a gardener and you're trying to figure it all out. You feel like you're in the weeds.
Can we use that?
Yes, that'll be
In the weeds.
$100, please. Idea.
In the weeds. That's really clever. Yeah, go with that. In the weeds. That's what we're going to call it. At least for now. So we've been
Awesome.
doing In the Now, which is a daily what's going on in town. It includes the calendar, stuff that's going on that day. And over the next few days, it's the weather today and the next few days. It's today in history and whatever else we can think of that can go into it. And that's available on our website at about 5:30 in the morning. And we push it out on Facebook a little bit after that. So keep your eye out. And as soon as we figure out the technology, we'll make that available for people who subscribe. So if you click subscribe, you'll get that in your email box, but we don't have that set up just yet. Wendy's going to be doing a version of In the Now called In the Now Weekend Edition. It's going to have much the same information, but it's also going to cover what's going to be happening over the weekend. That'll go out Friday morning, and it'll cover Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that'll cover the weekend. And then that'll also include your weekly crossword puzzle that Wendy puts together that's all local. And I think that's it. What I'm working on is I'm a Board of Aldermen meeting. I'm sorry that I didn't get it next day, but I'm working on writing up what happened at the Board of Aldermen meeting. And I'm working on a follow-up of the Board of Education / County Board of Commissioners about the partisan issue, which is being bumped up to Raleigh for legislation. And then I'm also working on a COVID update. The numbers are starting to rise again, and which should concern us all. My wife and I have both been vaccinated twice, but we've also both had COVID back in October. I don't wish it on anybody. Sickest we've ever been. It took us a full month for us to get over it. So I think that if there's anybody who's immune to it right now, it's probably us, since we have both vaccinations and we've had COVID. So I'm hoping that we're safe and good to go at this point. Let's see. That's it. Let's see. I got squirrels. I got letters. I got stories I'm covering.
And you got a video challenge.
Yeah, video challenge. One last thing. We were talking about the North Carolina colored troops, and we're talking about Juneteenth. New Bern has some of the most significant African-American history in the state, if not the nation. There's a lot of firsts here. There are a lot of lasts here. There's good history, and there's history that probably some people would like to forget about, but really shouldn't be forgotten about. There are streets that you can drive down and point left and right and look at the historical significance of African-American history in New Bern. So that'll be something that we're going to be wanting to highlight, I think, on New Bern Now during the month of June because of its significance with Juneteenth. A little bit more specifically, Juneteenth is when the last enslaved African Americans in Texas received word that they have been set free. So, and that was, I believe, after the Civil War had ended. So, there's just so many interesting things about African American history that need to be remembered, and so we're going to play a part in that. That's about all I have for today. I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything, but
Well, I just wanted to add to the what we're doing as far as the In the Now and Between the Bridges and different information. We can't do it without everyone, the people that are watching this video right now or listening. We work for you. We want to know, we want to express the views of you and send us your announcements. And I went into detail about what the Between the Bridges was about, but send us your information because, we want to connect people with people and places and happenings and, just learn about our community, all walks of life, the greater New Bern area and surrounding towns like Havelock, Vanceboro, Craven County, Jones County, Pamlico's right across the river. So send us your information to info@newbernnow.com.
And thanks for that comprehensive update, Randy.
Yeah.
my pleasure. It's amazing what you can do in a parking lot at Aldi and Kinston.
Well, have a safe trip.
Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You too, be
Okay.
careful.
Bye,
See you, Randy.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.
And a super huge warm welcome to Alderwoman Jameesha Harris. Thanks for coming on.
Hey everybody, how are you?
I know, well, I mean, I see you because I work at City Hall, but I feel like on the podcast, I haven't seen you in forever. So
Yes, Talina said she needed someone to fill in, so I was just like, well, I don't go back to work till 2, so y'all got me for a good 30 minutes.
Well, thank you. And you're really looking fantastic. I know you probably don't feel that fantastic, but you're really looking good. And
I have my compression on for 6 weeks, and I'm literally right now struggling to breathe. That's how tight it is. So, but the tighter it is, the faster the healing and the faster I can be in my 2-piece. So
there you go. You got
You
a
go,
smile on
girl.
your face. You just power through it. So that's the kind of
Got
person
to.
you are. So
I
Yeah.
also, we're doing all this talking about Juneteenth, and I think so much renewed enthusiasm has been given to Juneteenth, particularly in recent years. And I know Talina's working really hard on it, but I think Alderwoman Harris deserves a lot of props because you have put so much energy behind it and made it a major part of your interest and your sharing and bringing the community together, which is what New Bern Now is all about. And so you have really put so much behind that. So
Hey,
kudos
I
to
gotta
you.
do a support for my sister. We were just having a meeting today with some of the committee members, and we have a big one tomorrow. And I said we started out with one day. Then Talina, and everybody, we had 2 days. Then we went 3. Last year we went and did a week, but now we're doing a festival. So we're doing a whole week in the festival. And when I tell you we have Sunday to Sunday lockdown, we're looking for sponsorships. We're going big. It is going to be amazing. We have everything for infants up to the elders going on. So and we want everybody to come. Just because Juneteenth is historical for African Americans, we love everybody. We want everybody to be there so everybody can understand the history and celebrate what it is to us that Juneteenth matters. Because I'm from New York, Talina's from New York. We're used to the Juneteenth celebration that they do in the city. And I mean, they dress up and they do their dances and have their different type of rituals and stuff that they do. So it's like we got to New Bern and we were like, well, what do they do for Juneteenth or nothing? Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna bring it. And in New Bern, you got to do baby steps. But now we said, I think we're 3 or 4 years in. Yeah, because about to be we were doing it before I was on the board. So I think we about almost 4 years in. We said this year we got to go big. So we're really excited. I don't know how much Talina has shared, but we're going to have football out there for the kids. We're going to be doing basketball tournaments on the streets. We're going to do sip and paints. We're going to have flash mobs. It's gonna be big. Yeah. Yeah. So
Awesome.
we're with the schools and everything. We want to incorporate everybody, and that's what it is. It's all about partnership. And the main big thing is we want to get our entrepreneurs out there, our small business, micro businesses out there that may not have a brick and mortar. Get out there and sell your product, because we know a lot of people have, I think everybody has dealt with some sort of connection to the pandemic. So I think it's important that we just come together as a community and support everybody, because we can do it. So
we can do it. Let's put any kind of politics aside. Let's just move on.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Well,
I'm a straight shooter.
I know you are. I'm a straight shooter.
You call me the problem child of this year's, not years. What do they call it? When you have like that graduating class, this board. I'm the problem child, because I got to speak out on everything, and I got to speak from my heart. And sometimes it's not what everybody likes, but it's what needs to be said. And the delivery may not be what they want it to be, but for me, it's on the record, and that's what matters. We have to do what's right, and we need to make sure that we're doing everything that's necessary to help everybody, help the communities, and that's why I'm here.
Well, and that's why we vote, and we I'm not going there, but anyway, but thank you for having a strong voice, and that way we all know where you stand. You know, you are a straight shooter, you know, and I appreciate that. And before we continue, just real quick, guess what next week is? I can't believe it. Jameesha.
Your
Are
birthday.
you about to say for Twizzy?
Jimmy, what?
You're talking about 420? What are we talking about? We
I
celebrate.
just learned about
celebrating
420. I just,
CBC.
oh my God.
God.
I just learned about that yesterday because
Oh
I'm
my
like, I
goodness.
You're
gotta,
already celebrating it, Wendy. You're already celebrating. Quick study.
let's see. There we go.
Happy birthday.
hint.
I knew what you were
Oh,
talking
it's
about.
your
Earth Day.
When's your birthday? Oh, Earth
Herb Day?
Day.
Earth,
Earth Day.
Earth Day.
What
thought
day
you
is
said-
Earth Day? What day
I
is
thought you
Earth
said
Day?
Herb Day. Herb Day. Who's
What
Herb?
day is Earth Day? What day is Earth Day?
It's the
Birthday is
22nd.
April 22nd.
Oh, my bad. Okay, I see it on the calendar. Earth Day.
Yeah,
Yay.
right.
So you gotta take the pot and put it in the ground and grow a flower.
Yes.
But hey, that helps. But I mean, there's many
Or
ways.
they're gonna take that clip and slam me. Oh my goodness.
No, no.
Wendy, you know I hate getting on somebody's live because somebody's gonna say something about something. I get nervous, but it's okay. Go
Don't
ahead.
get in the hate. This is a safe place.
It is. I love
You know,
now.
that's why we try not to get into politics, and we try to just get along,
Have fun.
you know,
Yeah.
and just have fun and learn about, because there are other things besides politics. There's really great things happening, you know. And
Well, 420 is important just as Earth Day for the simple fact that it's sweeping the nation, that, you know, people are saying, hey, we need to get these record expunges. Let's get these people out of
Yeah.
prison and these records. Let's get them employed. Let's ban the box. Let's legalize it. Let's help our vets. Let's help cancer patients. So it's important. And Earth Day is important because we just said it today. You only get one Earth. And when you
And
tear it up, that's
yeah.
all you got.
well, and that's the only thing we all have in common. Every
Right.
species, the earth is, and we have to protect Mother Earth.
Yes, we
And
do.
and what you just said about 420 is not what I learned about 420. Somebody told me it was their kid. 420 was known as kids going to smoke marijuana
Uh-huh.
on 420.
They
So
probably do.
so,
I'm
but
not
what you just
gonna
said, no, that was an educational little tidbit,
Yes,
because I
yes.
had no idea, you know, because it is.
And if you're in a state
medicinal, yes.
like North Carolina, where it's not legal, you can always support CBD. I know you guys know Max. That's
Above
the
the
guy.
roots, yes.
Above the roots. That's
Yeah.
the guy. And it works. I mean, he has creams, everything. Like it works, helps with migraines. It saved me from a lot of stuff. You know, I tell people my story. I used to smoke cigarettes and stuff. I started after the hurricane because I caught PTSD from everything that I was doing out in the streets. And sometimes you can't help your vices. And I had to stop, especially because I caught cancer and didn't know if I caused it. And so I was like, I still need some form of relief, and it helps. They have gummies, they have hard candy, all that, even for your dogs when
Yes,
there's
they
fighting.
do.
Right. So it's for the family. So
There you go. Laura uses it for the gummies, and it really helps her. So it, you know, it reduces the number of you know, any kind of pain medication you take.
better
So
than
it's
using Bengay.
natural.
you don't want,
So.
if you walk around smelling like Bengay, you know you don't hit it at the at an age. So what we try to do is preserve our elders and have the CBD with the good smell, so we don't know that your bones is aching, you know. So
Saving someone every day from Bengay.
exactly. We gotta tell Max that saving.
That's the
One
new
person a
slogan for
day.
420. The new slogan for 420.
Yes,
Put that on a
saving
t-shirt.
somebody every day from Bengay. Now that is funny to me. Because Bengay got a smell to it now. You know when somebody got some Bengay on them. You know.
A mile away.
Mhm. I'm glad
All
I
right.
haven't had to use it yet.
Okay, I don't want to use the mute button, but no, I'm just
Go
joking.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Earth Day, okay. New Bern's Earth Day. Just like you said with Juneteenth.
Mhm.
I think there was 1 or 2 Earth Days where they were giving out awards. Like there was like 10 people down at Union Point Park. And actually somebody called it Arbor Day. So it was just that it's like we have to change this. So 3 years ago we started New Bern Earth Day, and we did it less than a month, and 200 people showed up. I was like, if we can get 10 people is better than no one, so I don't
Right.
care. So we did that at the parking lot next to Mitchell's. Last year we did a virtual event, and I thought it was pretty successful compared to we had never used Zoom, and I just 3 days prior to that I just got a Ethernet connection, and the day before I asked Jane Malucci to co-host it with me. I think it was 2 hours long. So it worked. But this year, our lineup, it's going to be between 12 and 3 p.m. next Thursday on
Okay.
Facebook Live. We have a variety of guests on the schedule. We have the NC Cooperative Extension, Craven County, the Sierra Club Croatan Group, the Crazy Botanist, the North Carolina Forestry Association, Carolina Nature Coalition, the Green Burial Project. Who knew?
Oh, cool, you were talking about that.
Yeah.
Wait. Is that where you just get buried, like, and they plant a tree or something like that in your body?
Like in a living landscape, like you would have a large greenhouse, for lack of a better term, where you could have your ashes. You could dump your
Now,
ashes.
see, I had to stop myself from saying a funny joke, but I'm gonna let it go now.
Oh no, come on.
Because if you said that you get buried in the dirt and the tree's supposed to come, hopefully it's gonna bear some good fruit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everybody's gonna have a good tree,
That's it.
Go ahead. The leaves gonna
You plant
fall.
like an apple
I got
tree.
one.
George's tree would be like,
Mine's gonna be a stub. I'm gonna get a stub.
Have you guys been to Above the Roots before this show?
Yeah.
What is it?
All
What
right.
is it?
A green burial is anything that, prior to the turn of the century, embalming was not really, popular. It was, during the Civil War to get, the deceased from point A to their final resting place. But normally they didn't put chemicals in your body, and they didn't put cement, pour all the cement into the ground. It was a natural burial. It was just like land that was, maintained, but not like with power tools or hand dug. And, you were raised down to, in the plot. There's no green burial places in Eastern North Carolina. And a lot of people are interested in this, and I really want to, Alderwoman Harris is going to be working with us on this, because, and the Ann Weston from the Green Burial Project. So you got to tune in next week. It's great information.
Do you have like a grave marker when you do that?
Well, you can plant a tree, but
does it have like your name on it or something, like?
Or you can have a
born this year,
a stone that is natural to this area.
No, you gotta carve it in the tree like they do when they.
Yeah, you gotta have your initials and your date.
Whatever. You gotta put the heart. You gotta do it with a knife. You have to carve it in the tree.
Gotta go old.
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah, but the thing is to locate the person. They use GPS coordinates. So it's a nature. It's like a nature park where people. There's one out in Western North Carolina where the people, in that area, it's just like a park for them where they go. There's benches, and it's a really neat experience, and people want that. There's a need. People ask, and why spend crazy amounts of money to have, like, I personally embalmed people. It was not, it was a horrible experience for me. Like, it was just not, it was just disturbing. And I don't think people realize what happens during that process. You know, the chemicals that the embalmers are breathing in. It's just not, you know, it's not good for our planet, because all that stuff seeps into, you know, the water table and the soil and all that. And so, you know, maybe that could be the future of burials. And anyway, she's going to talk about that. And then we have the North Carolina Coastal Federation, Coastal Environmental Partnership, the Seed to Shaker guy. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, he's
You know,
great.
the food
He is so cool, yeah.
He's awesome. So he's going to do a little show, you know, how he's going to explain the process of what he does. The North Carolina Native Plant Society and the Craven County Master Gardeners. And we're also adding probably 5 or more additional people. We're trying to fit them in the schedule. So
Wendy, what about our friend? What about our friend Bob? He could talk about that.
Our friend Bob,
Who works at Pollock Fest?
the funeral home. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
offer, they don't, he had to go, somebody was asking for it, and I'm pretty sure he went down to South Carolina,
Okay.
and they did a horse-drawn carriage ride. It was like, he had to get up at like 2 a.m, and it was just a very, you know, hard time for him to do all this, you know, to make the family happy. You know what I mean? So if something was local, what's that?
Some states created a policy or a law where now they can, I don't know if it's called a voyage, where maybe the ashes, or I don't know if the body, I don't know how it really works, but it's like they light it on fire and it goes on a boat in this, what is that called? Is
It's
it
like the Rome, like the
Like
Romans
a
did.
Viking.
Yes.
Yeah, like a Viking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I seen an article maybe a couple of months ago, because one of my friends said that that's what she wanted to do, and I was like, okay, that's new.
Well,
I thought
you
of-
know what?
yeah.
How little things like that. It may not be really eco-friendly, but if we all make little adjustments, you know,
Mhm.
it's better than being embalmed, you know, and buried in a cement tomb or whatever you want to call it.
I had a thought that it would be neat to have your ashes like spread out at different places, but like give your kids a list of maybe 5 or 10 places that you wanted to go, and then they have to get together once every 2 years or something and go to one of those places and spread your ashes a little bit. That way you're kind of building in a sibling trip or something, you know, and kind of
That is
that
wonderful.
make kind of cool. I thought about that.
That is so special, George.
I haven't figured out the places yet. I got to make a list.
That's really cool. And one thing to note about the ashes, they have to be mixed with, I think it's alkaline, because it's too acidic.
Right.
And it will destroy whatever plant life there is. So you can't, if you're going to spread ashes, you know, Google it and try to find out. There's companies out there that have kits where you put the ashes in and then you spread it, because you don't want to destroy the plants or you know, seep into the soil. So
I do gotta head out, but I'll leave with this. If I do ashes,
Yeah.
I want you to turn me into a snow globe so you could push the button and poof me up every Christmas.
And you'll
Okay,
be doing that wave.
just poof, you know, push the button. You can ski within the snow globe, but pack me up and bring me out every Christmas, okay? Because that's the Lord's birthday. We're gonna be chilling up there, but turn me into a snow globe, okay?
No, we're bringing you out.
I think they
on
can make you a
Juneteenth.
diamond.
We're bringing out the snow globe on Juneteenth every year.
Oh,
there you go. We'll shake you up. And you know what? Oh my gosh, Aimee is in the waiting room. What the heck? You should have cut me off.
I've got to run, Wendy. I got a 2:00 Zoom with another attorney, so I'm sorry. I've got to run.
Okay.
I know. Shh, don't tell them I was on the podcast.
Shh. Nobody knows.
Well, I'm about to be on the clock. Listen, I appreciate you guys. everybody watching, we have a special call meeting tomorrow, 9 o'clock down at the Development Services. I think you definitely need to watch. It's going to be a good one. We're talking about projects and how we're going to do better in our city with all these ideas with the American Rescue Plan. So get your coffee and your biscuits and your croissants or whatever, your bowl of cereal, and turn on at 9 o'clock so you can see my smiley face. I appreciate you guys.
Great to see you guys.
All
yeah,
right,
okay.
thanks,
See you
guys.
soon.
I gotta bring Amy in real quick.
Okay.
Bye, George. Bye, Alderwoman Harris.
Bye. Oh my gosh, Amy, I am so sorry.
This is the second time we have done
I
this.
know,
for her.
she's gonna, boy, I'm glad she can't reach me right now.
So I have a
Is she still
2:30.
there?
I have a 2:30 meeting, but I can stay for a few minutes. Hi, Amy.
Oh,
She's
Amy, I'm
muted.
so sorry. I'm so
You got it.
sorry.
You got to unmute her.
I asked you to unmute.
Okay, so real quick while she's coming into the room, so Tracy Brenneman said hello to everyone. Hi, Tracy. I so enjoyed meeting her, and now she watches us all the time.
Yes.
I love her. She has such a great personality. And
I was just on a meeting with her.
Really?
Yes, yeah, we were just on a meeting together in Pamlico County.
She is so great. And we have one guess on the trivia or contest question, and we'll get to that in a minute. But
Okay.
hello, Miss Amy.
Hi, everybody. So what a great,
sorry. I'm so
what a
sorry.
great, no,
God.
what a great podcast. That's wonderful. And I used to work hospice. So let me tell you, the green initiatives for burial are just wonderful. And we do need them here. You know, we do have a high percentage of retirees here, and you know, it's a heck of a thing for families, especially folks who relocate from up north to here. Then the families, you know, if you can take care of your burial, that's a gift to your children. So I recommend that. And if you can do it in a green way, that your children don't have to transport you all over the country and all kinds of things like that. What a wonderful gift. That's great. That and eating squirrel. What?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it all.
This has been the craziest podcast in a while. And then
Yeah.
birthday, and then 420. We're all over the place today.
Yeah, and a
Wendy.
tag team, like the Podsquad tagged off.
Wendy, you don't know 420? Now, come on. Yeah, apparently you guys are not working with students in school.
No, I mean, I joined the service when I was, you know, I signed up when I was 17. So, and I was a swimmer. So I know nothing about recreational things like that.
Right, things.
That's because
Oh my gosh.
Wendy was what we used to say when we were little. Wendy was a goody goody.
Yeah.
She never acted up.
You know, that's okay. You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much. And look at how much fun we're having now.
I
Well,
know.
see,
I'm just teasing you, Wendy.
Well, no, it's true. My late brother, he got my temper. I have no temper, or very minimal. It came out last year for the first time, I think. But and he always was getting into whatever. And I, you know, the only time I got in trouble is if he did something and he blamed me for it. So I just really didn't. I'm a boring person. So
No,
but-
you're not.
But Amy, how
Well,
are you?
I am well. And let me tell you, things are cooking here in Pamlico County. Let me tell you, the schools are open 4 days a week now. They're still closed on Wednesdays. We just had a great meeting. It's called System of Care. It's a collaborative with all the folks in Pamlico County. They're through the state. But it's once a month where all of us service providers in mental health and children's services all get together and talk about the services that we have and different initiatives. There's some grassroots things happening here in Pamlico County. I just went to a couple of meetings this week. So I'm really thrilled about Pamlico and how we're moving forward. It seems, you know, when we identify a need out here, we're getting together and pushing forward and finding people with some energy to move it. So that's a good thing. And same with Craven, right? You know, so I think this area, I'm just waiting for this COVID to kind of wind down a little bit more, and I think we're going to explode. I think we're just going to be There's so much going on now, even with COVID. So all the things that you talked about today. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that you are a licensed clinical social worker, right?
Yes. Yep.
So
Yep.
I wanted to ask you about how do we generally see things transition in a positive way when you come out of things like pandemics, recessions, things like that? You will probably be one of the first industries to see some of that change because we start seeing improvements in overall community health. We start seeing opportunities to get back to work and become productive again. We start to see shifts in the economy. So I would think you've probably really run the gamut of seeing what happens to communities when this, and families and children when this starts happening, and then we really just feel like the bottom fell out across the world last year. And now I feel like we have something to look forward to, and you'll be one of the first industries to see that, see people turn that tide and I guess become healthy again. I don't know if healthy is the word, but
well, hopefully at least a stabilization. So yeah, so here's what we're kind of seeing, at least here in our practice at Stillwaters. You know, we provide mostly outpatient services to families and children and individuals. And if you don't have money, we'll figure out how to pay for it anyway. So what we're seeing is a return to some kind of normalcy, a little bit. With that, though, you know, the numbers were super low for reports to Department of Social Services, CPS. So now we're seeing, unfortunately, those numbers kind of creep back up. So we're seeing DSS getting a little bit busy with some referrals to get supports in for families who need it. You know, DSS isn't always the bad guy, right? They can go in and say, hey, look, you know, you've got all these problems in the home, but you know what? We have service providers to help you with that, you know. So that's a good thing. We're seeing kids return to school that maybe were on virtual all year. I know a lot of kids went back after the spring break, you know, for in person. So what we're seeing is reinitiated peer contacts, and we're seeing teachers who can teach in person to maybe that kid that was struggling. I know that the schools are kind of bursting at the seams at this point, but it seems like the teachers, when you talk to them anecdotally, are just so glad to have the kids back. And the kids aren't going to verbalize it, but they're telling us in little ways, they missed school.
absolutely.
Yes, they missed school. So that's a good thing. What we're kind of seeing too, as far as, you know, a trend is just, especially with the kids that we work with, kids who just were not connecting with the virtual learning. Unfortunately, they're going to be considered truant. So hopefully we're going to see that return and get them up and running. And then of course there's now mandated summer school for each district to offer that. We're not sure what that's going to look like, is what I'm hearing, but there's going to be an opportunity for kids to get that education back on track. So those are some of the things that we're seeing. So I think just families, and of course, I don't know everywhere, but it seems like I'm getting notices all over the place that a lot of employers are looking for employees. So, you know, it could be time for folks to get a job that maybe couldn't find one during COVID or lost theirs, or maybe they're underemployed. It seems like now is a good time to get back on that. And we know when people are productive, their mental health is better. So we're hopeful. Unfortunately, you know, I think last time I talked to you, we were kind of down in numbers, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but we are up and running and full numbers right now. We always are taking referrals because we always have therapists that are willing to help, but we are seeing more people coming out and coming in person versus the teletherapy. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yay.
I think
Awesome.
the opportunity to make connections again and be together, and I just think that's going to do wonders for our mental health. And you know, we just have felt so isolated in the last year, and oddly, I think we kind of got comfortable with isolation. You know, we learned how to cope with isolation, so we're in a way kind of relearning to be together and have fun and do things and get out. So I'm looking forward to it, at least.
Yes, I think social support is so important when you're struggling with mental health issues. You think about depression, that person that kind of pulls back and self-isolates. Well, it's really easy to do during a pandemic because you're kind of told to do. So, we want people to get out and have a good time and utilize those beautiful parks that we have and go kayaking now that the weather's nice and all that kind of good stuff. So, always thinking about the positives with mental health. Take a walk, get those chemicals in your brain cooking in the right way.
Vitamin D.
Yes, a little
Yeah,
vitamin D.
yeah.
Yeah, the natural high versus the 420 stuff and the CBDs. But
Yeah.
there's a place for all of that.
Yeah.
But I'm always going holistic. So,
There you go. Yeah.
yes, I'm always going, let's go take a walk. Let's start conservatively. Let's start walking. Let's start calling a friend. Let's start getting out to the park every day. If you have trouble with exercise, hey, get online and find yourself a nice stretching program. Call a friend, do it with them, whatever.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hate to do this, but we've got to wrap things up.
You've
but-
got to go. I know.
You
But
have to give the answer
we
to
gotta
the
give the
contest
answer.
question. Yeah.
Okay, real quick. Does anyone know? Okay, Pod Squad. What is the largest tree squirrel in North Carolina?
And it's not Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's not Rocky. So, no. Okay.
His main name may be Rocky.
It's not the flying or the red squirrel. It's
See,
not
I
the
was
red
going to
squirrel.
say the flying, but
No.
I think it's twice the size or double the size of the fox squirrel, of the gray squirrel. It's the fox squirrel.
so somebody guessed that.
And
On Facebook, it was Craig
Craig.
Powell.
yeah, so you're the winner, Craig. Great job. Yeah, woohoo. And I'll be contacting you to arrange getting your gift certificate. So thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, if you haven't seen the fox squirrel, look them up. They're really cool. I think I've only seen one in my time in North Carolina. And we don't have to go into the big long out closing because this is a really long one. I'm gonna have to edit all weekend. So if you have any information, send it to info@newbernnow.com. Visit newbernnow.com.
Shout out to WNOS 103.9 for playing our podcast on Wednesdays at 8 and 5. Join us next week for Earth Day, noon to 3. And
Yeah. Oh yeah, real quick, Hannah House is doing tours of the bees and they have a car charging station. So check it out.
oh yeah, well, we
next
were
week.
talking about that. Cool stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so thank you everyone. Thank you, ladies. Have
Thank
a great
you,
day.
ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Woohoo. See you later, Amy. Thank you for being patient.